A young woman secretly maintained a romantic relationship with her father's best friend for 3 years. They behaved like a normal couple, but after each encounter, the man would always bring her birth control pills. It was then that she realized their relationship had never been mutual. He had never truly loved her. When she confronted him, he coldly told her that she was a woman who didn't even love herself. What he didn't know was that those words inflicted deep emotional scars, causing her to develop frigidity. From that moment on, she was unable to have any intimate contact with another man. When she later discovered that he had a girlfriend, she decided to leave the city filled with painful memories. Years later, she returned because her parents had divorced, but she was determined to leave the past behind and never see that man again. However, fate had other plans. Her father called, telling her that his brother-in-law would pick her up and expressing his happiness that she had accepted his new marriage. What her father didn't know was that she had already seen that very man secretly bringing his current wife home while still married to her mother. At that moment, she understood men were all the same. They eventually got bored and sought out another woman, just like her ex, who had pursued her only for the thrill of something new, without any genuine feelings. As soon as she ended the call, her father's brother-in-law arrived to pick her up. Seeing him, she was shocked. As always, he treated her with great care, took her luggage, and, noticing her confusion, explained that her father's new wife was his sister. Once in the car, he noticed she was cold and thoughtfully turned on the heater. He even fastened her seatbelt, but she instinctively avoided his touch. It turned out that shortly after she had left to study abroad, she had been diagnosed with estrogen deficiency, which caused her to lose all interest in men. Her doctor told her that this condition was rooted in the deep emotional damage from her past relationship and suggested that trying a new relationship might help her heal. Taking the advice to heart, she started dating a classmate, hoping it would work. But on her ex's birthday, she overheard him and his friends mocking her, laughing at the fact that she had been in a relationship for a year without even holding hands. She had nothing to say. That night, she ended the relationship immediately. Upon returning home, the man took her to her house, warning her that living alone in her apartment could be dangerous. He offered his home, saying it was empty and that she could move at any time. If she needed anything, all she had to do was call. She looked at him coldly, just as she had the day he told her he never loved her. She mocked herself, thinking she had never truly reached his heart. Determined to avoid him, she left for work the next morning and took all her belongings with her, choosing to stay away from him. After moving into the hospital's staff accommodation, she spent several days without returning to his house. She thought he wouldn't care, but to her surprise, he sent someone to bring her home for dinner. When she later suffered a sudden drop in blood sugar, he took her to the hospital and stayed by her side all night. She could no longer understand what his presence meant. What did he want from her now? Just then, his sister called, asking him to look after her, as she had just broken up with her boyfriend and likely hadn't fully recovered from the heartbreak. At that moment, the man was completely confused.